Hey guys, how's it going? This is Cyber Saloon. So today we're going to be going over ReZero episode 11. This episode was absolutely insane. It's what I expected from the penultimate episode this season, because the next episode is the last episode of this quarter. I believe the second half of ReZero season 2, I think it starts in January. So I'm pretty excited for that we don't have to wait for too long. So we pick up where we left off last time, to where Subaru is meeting Beatrice again, and we get a lot of information about Beatrice. We learned that book she had previous during the season, when Subaru and her talked, that she said everything in this book is everything I do is written in this book. Like, the reason I've done things for you is because it's written in the book. Subaru takes the book, and it is empty. And then we get a little bit of backstory into what exactly kind of spirit that Beatrice even is in the first place. We find out that Inkinda is the one who made Beatrice, and since Akinda is dead, Beatrice has basically just been kind of in limbo. Like, she wants to die because she doesn't really know what she's supposed to do anymore, which hence is why the book is empty in the first place. So she goes into kind of like a mental breakdown and asks Subaru to kill her. She doesn't really want to do this anymore. And then Subaru was like, no, I'm obviously not going to do this. And then our favorite psychopath, Elsa, shows up to the mansion. Quick point, Subaru had sent Petra, Frederica, and somebody, I forgot her name, but had sent them away previously to the village. So Elsa shows up, and Subaru and Beatrice kind of they get out of there pretty quickly after they kind of trick her. And then shit really hits the fan. So we find out that not only did they attack the mansion, the witches' cult, they're also attacking the village, and they've very clearly killed everyone in the village. We see the Subaru and Beatrice run into she was one of the little kids from the village in season 1 that you got to see. Um, they run into her, and she turns out to be part of the witch cult. She's a mob beast user, which is like the kind of like the demonic beast, and she is an absolute fucking cunt across the board. Um, and then Beatrice tries to fight her, and Elsa comes up and tries to kill Beatrice. Beatrice goes fucking ham and seemingly kills Elsa, and I was like kind of happy for a second. I'm like, like, even if like Subaru's gonna have to reset this life, like, like, killing Elsa's just seeing that bitch die is pretty it brings a smile to your face. Um, and we also find out that annoying, like, cunny little kid had Frederica and Ram and Petra eaten alive. So there's that. And then Subaru with the typical low IQ isekai kind of stereotype is like, oh, Beatrice, you don't hurt her. She's a kid. I'm like, Subaru, dude, like, she just had everyone in the village like brutally murdered, including like kids. So I don't I don't understand why you're being like annoying about this. But anyways, then we get to the big moment. So we see that Elsa is, I guess she used like a shadow clone or something. I like a kind of like a duplicate magic. I don't know. She actually did not get killed, and then she kills Beatrice. And let me tell you, dude, that moment hit hard, dude. Beatrice is a really cool character. I've always kind of liked her. She brings kind of an interesting dynamic, being like a really powerful spirit, and kind of like this, like, very vague kind of magic spirit user. So she got killed. I was pretty upset about that, but I'm like, it's okay. Like, Subaru's gonna respawn, I guess. And then they start messing with Subaru. They look like they weren't gonna kill him. I imagine they were probably gonna torture him. And then Beatrice kind of sends him. It seems she sent him back to Sanctuary, but we don't really. I don't understand. I'm not quite sure what she did, because she sent him back to Sanctuary, but it looked like his wound had been like healed. No, not healed, but he had a bandage over his eye because Elsa basically stabbed his eye out, because that's what she does. And then he wakes up, and we see that Amelia, it's not really Amelia, I think it's Satella that has very much possessed her body. Um, starts talking to Subaru. You can tell it's Satella, because Satella starts saying, "Oh, I love you. I can't do anything without you." And I think that we're gonna get to this in a minute, but I think Roswell has done something to when Amelia like fully loses control. Satella, I guess, in some way, shape, or form, kind of like controls her body, because you see it in your eyes. Like if you look like from last episode, you see Satella's eyes have like a kind of a, like where Amelia's eyes are like violet purple. Satella's are violet purple, but they kind of have this reflective kind of look about them, and so those eyes were not Amelia's like kind of standard eyes, and it's kind of obvious that Satella had fully possessed her body. So he gets out, he leaves Sanctuary, the little temple in Sanctuary, and we see him go out to Garfield. And Garfield's like, "What the hell is happening?" Why? It's because it's snowing like pretty heavily outside, and Garfield thinks that Amelia's caused it. And Subaru kind of tells him, "That's not Amelia. I don't know what the hell that is." He kind of has a breakdown. I think this might be Roswell. So this shit's even crazier. So he goes to Roswell, and they're like, "What the hell?" Roswell fucking kills Ram and Garfield by sticking his hand like through Ram to kill Garfield, and you kind of get this moment like Garfield's like trying to he's like trying to save, he's like trying to talk to Ram because Garfield kind of really cares for Ram, and then Roswell kicks his head off, just punts it like a soccer ball, and then Subaru's kind of just like, all right, it's just like this life clearly didn't go very fucking well. Like, I'm very clearly gonna have to respawn from this one. Everyone's dead, everything's gone to shit. Like, Subaru's like, okay, so Roswell kind of brings this up, like he says, oh, you're not like too overly emotional about this, and he knows, like, 'cause Roswell knows, that's kind of a big part too. Roswell knows about Subaru's ability to return from death. He doesn't clearly state it, but he words it in a way very cleverly to where he lets Subaru know that, oh, you can just go back and restart. So Subaru and him kind of have a discussion, and Roswell kind of talks to Subaru like he wants Subaru to kind of be more like him, like they like he's serving Satella in some way, because like he even brings up that he he kind of orchestrated Amelia to lose control emotionally and rely on him. So I think he's he I can't say too much because I honestly I don't know too much about Roswell. Again, like, I'm not caught up on the light novel, so I don't know if it kind of reveals more. But he is working for the Satella, I think, in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if Roswell's like a spirit of Satella or what. Kind of like Beatrice was in Kingdom. So, and then our favorite, the Great Rabbit, shows up, and we see the bunny horde of Bell Crannels hopping up to the village, and then Roswell kind of brings up, oh, you're gonna come back from this, and like, I want you to be more like me and get stronger. So he basically like giving a nod to Subaru, like, hey, you're gonna come back from this. This part of me will die, but the version of you that you're going into in like another timeline will probably continue my goal. And then we see Roswell become a Happy Meal for the Bell Crannels, the Great Rabbit. We see them there's just basically like an unlimited number of them. And then we get treated to a VHS level, 80s VHS, um, kind of like looking frame rate. It's done on purpose. I actually really like this part. We get kind of Subaru walking back into the temple to where quote unquote Amelia is. It's very much Latella, and this part was crazy. His legs are just like raw meat. Like the Great Rabbit, they've just completely just torn his legs apart. Like they're barely functional. Like you get kind of I guess they didn't want to show it too much because I don't know if there's like restrictions how much gore they can show. I guess whatever channel it airs on in Japan. But like you get a brief kind of look of his legs, and like it's just shredded meat. It's pretty bad. And he goes and lays down on Amelia's lap one last time before he dies. I mean, props to him. Like, shit. Like, if I'm going to restart a new life, it's better to restart it, laying down next to her, I guess, opposed to being tortured to death or being eaten alive. So he goes and lays down next to her, and we see that Satella is, like, very happy that he's, like, back with her. And it's like a singular focus of, like, whatever is possessing Amelia, which is Satella. They're like, he's back. That's why it's kind of obvious, just like that. You can kind of tell, like, that's all that's on her mind. Like, she can't think or do anything else other than just obsess over Subaru. So, and right as the episode ends, we see Satella kind of going down for the kiss with Subaru, which is kind of fucking dark if you think about it. Like, I hope Subaru dies before, like, that happens. Just because, I mean, you have to think how dark that kind of is. His first kiss with Amelia would be her being possessed while everyone outside is being eaten alive, and he's had to watch everyone he loves dies other than her. And then he's slowly being eaten alive. Well, he's mostly been eaten alive. And then the person kissing him isn't even like the person he likes. It's basically like a stolen. It's pretty fucked up if you think about it. So that's where the episode ends. Seriously, it was a great episode. White Fox did a really good job. I'm really excited for the final episode of this core. I'm curious how it'll end. I don't see this ending any other way. Like for this core, like next episode, I don't think there's any way this ends on a positive note. I think Super will be dead, for sure. He will restart his new life, but I don't know what we can do with this. The only thing I can see is that he's gonna have to get the people of Sanctuary to help him, like with that village, because there's no way. Like Frederica can't do shit. Rim could help, but she's in like a completely unconscious state. But even if Rim wasn't, like, we see that Rim's pretty powerful, but given what they're going up against, I don't think she'd be able to really do much either. And Frederica and Rim are pretty powerful. Even with Beatrice there, like, it'd be a hard fight for them. So he's gonna have to get the help of a bunch of other people for this one. You might see the Knights kind of show up. We haven't really seen anything or heard anything from Julius or Reinhardt or the other people of Crucia's house. So you might see them possibly, but I think Garfield would be like a major asset because you see that Garfield, especially in his beast form, is exceptionally powerful. I mean, you saw earlier in the season, he basically takes out part of the whole fucking forest. So I'm seriously excited for for the final episode of this season. Again, I can't see it ending any other way than like kind of like the bad ending. But again, we know that the second half of season 2 is coming out in January, so maybe season 2 will end in a shit show or like a suspense moment. But I don't think it's gonna be a happy ending for anyone next episode, unfortunately. Or maybe maybe Satella, and not Satella, but Nkinda can kind of give him some advice, because I think that's the only person he can even go to for a suggestion at this point to even come up with a good strategy. Well, guys, that was episode 11 of season 2. Thought it was awesome. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, take care.